Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Have you noticed how long hospital names are getting? We're going to talk about one particular hospital here, but I'm sure it applies everywhere. But this one is the deep breath University Hospital Sussex NHS Foundation Trust. What a word salad of bollockness. I'll just give a hospital a name and call it that. Anyway, it's said today that its working conditions are so bad in the hospital, the waiting lists are so long, and everything's falling apart, that they're actually hiring, and you wonder what the world's coming to. You wonder what Britain's coming to. They're hiring an expert emergency doctor, an expert in his field, and his field is basically battlefield triage, corridor treatment. They're getting someone in who basically can triage in an emergency in limited conditions, because there's so many people sitting in chairs, in wheelchairs, on trolleys, or on the floor, in corridors in this hospital. 80% of medics are offering care, they say, in what is at least unsafe and often dangerous conditions, and in places where medical procedures should not be carried out. There has been, and they've reported this, medical, interventions taking place in toilets in this hospital, because it's the only place where they can work away from other people. Now, I would hate to go to hospital with something and have to be operated on in a fucking toilet, because the whole hospital is massively underfunded and has far too few doctors, nurses, beds, everything. But that's what's happening in this hospital, University Hospital Sussex NHS Foundation Trust. See how many more words we can put on the back of that. There are people fighting between Russia and Ukraine who are probably receiving better medical attention than people in this country in a hospital. And we have to ask why. Well, when you've got a government that pisses away £11 billion to African farmers for which they get nothing in return, and we've seen some of the things that the monies are being spent on. Shrimps, healthcare for shrimps, dancing lessons for ex-religious extremist fighters. I'm not even shitting you here. These are genuine things. Lessons on how to make videos for prisoners in the Congo. I mean, some of the things you think you can't be serious until you read it and you realise, oh, it's way worse than that. Meanwhile, people in this country are getting treated in hospital toilets. And now he wants to spend more money going to war because he feels having a war will make him nice and handsome and people would admire him from afar, instead of thinking what we do think of him. And I can't say that word, but you know the word I'm thinking. He will never be loved. And yet this country is falling apart at the seams, and God help anyone who needs any kind of medical help in Starmer's Britain. You have a health minister who looks like an embryo, a chancellor who hasn't got a clue how to count beyond about 3, a home secretary who does not know the meaning of securing the nation, a foreign secretary who travels around the globe insulting people and couldn't point to a map of London on a map of London. That's how thick the man is. He's the oaf of the highest order. And these are the top. I mean, you get further down the feed line, don't you? You go down, and you got liars and criminals, and not one of them has a clue what they're doing. And then you get hospitals like this. Corridor care was now the norm, apparently, at Sussex Hospital. The norm. And you can guarantee that this hospital won't be the only one. 1,200 patients waited at least 12 hours for a bed. last month. 1 month, 1,200. It is just unbelievable. Whittington Hospital in North London also advertising for nurses to work 12-hour corridor shifts. Let's call it what it is. Battlefield triage. In a modern Western democracy, although we're hardly a democracy, are we? We're having our votes taken from us. When are the people of this country going to say enough's enough and actually start to do something about it? Stop voting Labour. And if your neighbour voted Labour, if you had people in your family voted Labour, let them know exactly how you feel. Point to them. Say, look, you've done this. You're having people being treated in hospitals because you are and then use that word. I just don't know how much further can this country fall, because I think it's still going to fall. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. Goodbye.